Hi, everybody, and welcome to Interesting Pop AF. And the pop will
Nope. Nope.
you'll
Like
understand.
it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I'm sorry, but I had to do it. I
Triggered.
had to. I know,
Triggered.
triggered. Welcome to our doc is in where we are going to talk about the OceanGate disaster in form of a documentary.
This has been a long time coming. I feel like we created
Long
this moment.
I think so. And, just so you know, I think we kind of manifested it because we started the doc is in and then this documentary, they like released it last year. Was it this year, earlier this
This
year?
year, maybe a couple months ago.
We really manifested this just like we should manifest us going viral at this point because of this one because of this
Yeah.
exact one.
Yeah. Also, like Louvre heist. We already know that's a documentary's coming out from CNN on that one. Like,
So excited.
woo, we got a lot of good stuff coming.
So exciting. And I cannot wait because I think I want to say that we became even closer because of the disaster,
Yeah.
because we realized that we had the same humor, I
It's
think.
so true. Because, like, the internet delivered with this one. And it's like so
Delivered.
dark, especially like, you know, the, the internet gave it its moment until we really realized what was going on. And then the internet delivered. Like, these people weren't missing. There weren't like this, like the mainstream media graphics of like, hypothetical oxygen left things. That's when the memes weren't like, that's not when they were delivering. It was after the craziness all came out that it
Yeah.
really delivered. And the
Oh,
fact
yeah.
that neither one of us had a problem with any of the dark ones. We were
Any
like,
of them.
girl, I will see you in hell. Like, one of us is driving the bus, one of us is the navigator. And so, yeah, you know what? I think I agree with that. I don't know that I realized that, but I agree with that statement.
Because I think
So,
it like hit me when we were watching it. When we were watching it, where I was like, hey, is this actually how we became, really good friends? Because I think that's
because like
when
it
you
started during my parental leave, as we talked about before, but I think you're right. I think you're right.
because I think it was, when you realize somebody has the same dark humor as
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you go,
You're like, "Oh my
you're
god, these are."
like, I can say anything now, not be judged, and we can move on.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think,
yeah,
yeah.
I think
So
you're right.
so
So
yeah. So
listen,
this go
Stockton
ahead.
fucking asshole. He's the worst.
Worst.
Stockton Rush for
Yes.
bringing us together.
We will always you will always hold a very
A
interesting place in
weird
our
place in
hearts
our
because weird place because we hate you
hate
so
you
much.
so much. Like,
So much.
goddamn.
And like after you kind of watch this documentary, and I think it really shows like how to a certain degree how corporations are too, right? They are all about following one person that does one thing and they think they're doing it well, and then
Yep.
they're just taking everybody on this fucking insane, kind of tour, and you get people killed or you get people like depressed, and you ruin their lives, and then you threaten to ruin their lives. Stockton, you see in the documentary, like, that he, like, tried to ruin people's lives if they quote unquote told on him.
Yeah, and I think so much of that, and even what you're saying about the corporations, like, I can't remember which episode we talked about this, but like, I know I've alluded to it. Admitting you were wrong and knowing when, like, admitting when you don't know something is very hard for people. I get that. Saying you're sorry is hard. Admitting you were wrong was hard. Admitting you were wrong or that your idea wasn't a good one when there are literally billions of dollars that have been invested by other people, not yourself. I'm not making an excuse. I've never been in that situation. So I'm not saying I would had people die over it. I hope that's not the case. I feel like I'm a better person than that. Um, but like, the
You you are spoiler alert, everybody, she is.
yes,
She's a
thank
better
you.
person than that.
The narcissism behind adding, like, not being able to say, I was wrong, this was a bad idea, sorry, this was a failure, and then adding billions of dollars on it. Like, people are so afraid to do that, like, this is what fucking happens. And I'm just gonna say it because I have to get it off my chest because I just scream it the whole time. I'm so fucking sick and tired of rich men getting away with shit like this. Truly. Like, apply that where you want to. I don't care at this point. But like, it is enough is fucking enough. People are dying. Like, just because someone disagrees with you, you m- literally go out of your way to ruin their life, and then you and innocent people die. Fuck off entirely. I am so sick of it, and I think that's why some of the memes got so dark.
Good.
Like, fuck this guy. I'm
I
sorry for
mean, this is the thing.
innocent people that had no idea what was coming. That's horrible, but fuck this guy.
But and that this is where I think Spider-Man, the quote where with great power comes great
Great
responsibility. I
responsibility.
mean, we're not going to go into, we can have a whole different like dissertation on the inequality of generational wealth, right? Because his wife, which insane, is one of the descendants of one of the couples that died on the Titanic, right?
The
So,
couple who the couple who
he had
started these.
Macy's, God, the Strausses, right? The Strausses.
Yes, yes, yes. That's right.
And I go, fine, we can talk about generational wealth and we can have all those conversations, but that's not something we can fix. That's something like that's baked into our system and it has been for years and decades and centuries. But the concept is we have not gotten to the point, and I think these are only the robber barons of the 1900s that kind of understood the responsibility aspect to a certain degree. I'm not saying they did, they fucked the labor movement. They did a lot of, they killed people when they were doing strikes. They like, hired mercenaries, but they also built shit like the public library system. Like,
Yeah.
they did they made sure there was electricity everywhere, right? They built public goods. And
Yes.
yes, we can talk about how they were like taken whatever, but there were things that they did tangibly that increased and made society better. This dude making a fucking submersible with a fucking PlayStation
Oh
controller
my god.
to go down to like 7 leagues under the sea to fucking see the Titanic. Where dude, like, just go with like an
Not even
expedition or
science.
something.
There was really, to me, for him, there was really no scientific, like, research aspects behind it. He got people involved who wanted to be a part of this becoming a scientific thing, but like, it wasn't even for science. It was purely for entertainment and to be able to sit, like, to check, for rich people to be able to check a bucket list box. Honestly.
Exactly. And you know me, you know how obsessed I am with the Titanic. I'm
Obsessed.
obsessed. I would still never go into a
Never,
submersible
never,
to go see it.
never, never.
And I will say this, and I will tell everybody this. I really do think I died on the Titanic. I've told you this, right? I've told you that. Okay, so like, and I've always had like this guttural, like visceral reaction to it. And I'm like, if there's a thing as past lives, I probably died on there. And it's like an argument with my family. I was like, yeah, I was probably first class and gave my seat away. And they're like, bitch, you were steerage. Like, I don't know. You're like, they're like, we're not playing this game. You were fucking steerage. All right. So calm down.
You would have been locked up with
Um,
Leo in the where
egg
he
on the
had to
door.
yeah.
I would have given him the door and then I would have died. But
Oh,
anyway,
we all
we
would have.
all would have. Except
Well,
not now because he's gross.
no,
God damn,
90s
Leo.
Leah.
90s
We
Leo.
are millennial. Listen, we are
Yes.
millennial women. When we say Leo, there's no other Leo we're talking about other than 90s Leo, maybe a bit into the 80s when we're talking like growing pains Leo when he
Oh
comes in.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
growing pains Leo.
yeah. Yeah, like we're talking about maybe maybe late 80s, but definitely like 90s, that 90s like mushroom bowl cut Leo, like the picture that was on my wall.
Yep.
That's the Leo
Love
we're
it.
always Romeo and Juliet Leo.
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh.
perfection. That's my
Perfect.
Leo.
Yes, that is the Leo, and that is the Leo that exists. Because the Leo after that didn't exist. Do you know he was in DC like last week
Oh, was he?
for Jane Goodall's
Oh, yes, yes,
funeral?
yes. I did see that. I did see that.
And I didn't realize it. I'm like, the guy probably just went to the church and left because he was like, there aren't enough young kids here.
Oh. He is not so slowly becoming Jack Nicholson.
Right?
In the face, even.
Yeah. It's like a very creepy thing.
Total,
Anyway,
like, yes, yes, please continue.
sorry. So back to the but I want you to tell me what you think about the Jack Nicholson thing because this is funny.
Oh no, I just think like in the face, like he's becoming Jack Nicholson, like the sideline photos of him in like the black hats with the black blazer and basketball games. I'm just like, oh my God. And the note I was gonna say was like super random and totally on tangent. We just watched Chinatown for the first time this weekend.
Really?
Classic. Fantastic
Hmm.
movie.
Hmm.
Like amazing movie. I understand why it's a classic. Like
Okay.
fantastic. And we're
I've
talking 1974 Jack Nicholson. So now when I'm talking about Jack Nicholson, I want 1974 Jack Nicholson. When I talk about DiCaprio, I'm talking 1994 Leo DiCaprio.
with obviously with an honorable mention for Jack Nicholson in As Good as It Gets.
Amazing. Oh, listen, he has classic movies. Up like Some's Gotta Give. Please. Let's
Yeah.
let's please. Perfect.
Hmm.
Back to the Titanic.
Anyway, back to the Titanic. So I've read a ton of books, right? And there's a great book called Sinkable, and it's all about how people have been fascinated with bringing the Titanic back. So like pulling it from the
Calling it out.
depths.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't understand that, because for a long time between 1912 and what, it was found in the 90s, I want to say, was it 90s or early 2000s?
No. Because the movie Titanic came out in like
Yeah, so
1964.
80s, so
So
mid
it was
80s. So like for 70 years, people were going, this is something we can pull. Like it was just such a fascination.
1985.
Yeah. So like
1985. And it was Bob Ballard who, to an American, which is amazing, but also he used to teach at the University of Rhode Island, I believe. So he's like, he might still be teaching.
that's
Anyway, yeah,
insane.
1985.
And if you guys, if you have a book, like a book recommendation that you need, go read Sinkable because it talks about how a lot of the um expeditions to like find ships had to do with the CIA or had to do with like some covert operation. So it's crazy how much it's because the government is usually the one that has the most money. So you
Yep.
don't have and so I think this is also one of the things with this OceanGate thing was like you didn't really have government money, right? You didn't have that oversight in a way. You just had these random people giving this dude money or he was self-funding and it like came afterwards.
True, except you are supposed to class any submersible in a country. Like you're supposed to do it where either like where it was built, where you're launching from, that type of stuff. I know there's a lot of like loopholes in terms of the Caribbean and a lot of ships are, down in the Bahamas and whatnot. But like you're supposed to class your boat somewhere and he didn't do that at all, like ever, which is a
And
problem. And so
well,
that
but this is the
so
yeah, but that's the thing, right? Like you have a rich person that thinks the rules don't apply to them. And then
over
pretend
it.
and over it. Like it's one of those things where it's extremely difficult for people to believe in institutions and to
Yeah, yeah,
believe
yeah.
in how things kind of go well if they can't even pull this off when it's just rich people doing it, right?
Right, right.
And I think that's kind of one of it's also the commentary about this disaster, right?
Yeah.
Even even rich people can't protect rich people.
Right. We talked about this in our last episode. It doesn't matter how much money you have, you're gonna die.
You're gonna die.
Yeah. And thankfully for them, they were deep enough that they didn't feel a dang thing. But one thing I have to scream about because I keep
Pop.
oh yeah, this is gonna
Yeah.
be a good segue into pop. Um, because I don't know in what world, and a lot of people who are scientists, and I am not a scientist, and physicists also agreed with me and told him not to do this. But I would also reiterate, I am not a scientist. I have an English lit degree. I talk for a living. And I know that you shouldn't use the material that is used in airplanes that goes in the air where the atmosphere is thinner to go under the water where the pressure gets hard. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out because like
Sorry, take a
why?
deep
Why?
breath.
This is what I need to scream about because I am not a scientist and this is like I want to say it should be common sense, but what the actual? Because my God, like you cannot put a flexible material under the water to go that deep.
And one of the things that I think I guess like didn't understand or maybe like I'm missing is that these scientists were like doing it as like they were building the ship and they were like let's use this material and you're like why would you think that that's going to work in a way different environment than the air.
But
And I
like
think it's like
Boeing said, don't
Boeing.
do this.
Yes,
And
for Boeing to say not to do something. Commentary.
like scientists the University of Washington said, don't do this. Every engineer that joined that team that then had to leave because he wouldn't listen to said, don't do this. Every test, every pop, like that pop the
Every
first
pop.
time, and this is now the third watching of this that I've done, by the way, and it's still like just as riveting as the first time. The first time I heard that pop, I mean, I literally jumped out of my chair. I dreamt about it that night. It is so horrifying and so loud because they had all of those speakers throughout to in as a failsafe to make sure that something like this didn't happen or that if it was happening, they had a heads up. And guess what? They had so many heads ups. Can
So
you
many.
imagine just those 5 people in there being told time and time again, "Oh, it's nothing." Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So the one pop that you don't hear on the Netflix. So remember we mentioned like we're specifically talking about the Netflix. Really, we're talking
Yep.
about the case in general. But
Yeah.
in the Netflix one, you hear the popping from the tests and while they're under the water. In the Discovery one, you don't hear the pops, but what you do hear is the moment it happens in the
Yep.
Discovery one, where Stockton Rush's wife hears it, and you can see on her face, she's like, "What was that?" So you hear that pop in the Discovery one. You do not hear that one in the Netflix one.
No.
Um, but that popping sound is like so unsettling and upsetting, especially now knowing what happened.
Yep.
I mean, it's infuriating clearly because like I'm like red in the face about the carbon fiber. And I know this.
And like because it doesn't make sense. You're like if the air is getting like if like the pressure gets thinner, it's not
It's
gonna work in something where it gets thinner, harder,
it's
more pressure.
yeah. It's
See, we can't even fucking find the word, and we knew it's the wrong thing to use.
more pressurized, right?
More
It's
pressure, yeah.
I don't know. It it's crushing. It becomes more crushing.
Was that a pun?
You
Was that a
shouldn't
pun?
have. Not even like I literally mean crushing.
Yeah, it's oh.
I am scuba certified. I have zero desire to get in a submersible, even before this. Like, part of the reason I got scuba certified is so I can go see the pretty things at 60, 80 feet and not have to be in a submersible.
Yeah.
And I have no desire, honestly, I have no desire to go deeper than 60 or 80 feet. The light starts going like, I ain't there for that. I have done wreck dives. Like, I've been through a boat while
Really? Which
yes,
one?
Cayman Islands, the USS Kittiwake. Amazing. I've done it twice. Have I done it 3 times? I've done it twice. I did it, it's literally, like, right off at about, I don't know, 200 yards off the coast of the Cayman Islands. Its bottom is at 60 feet, so it's, like, you can with even, like, an intro to scuba, you should get scuba certified because it is a wreck dive, so it's a little bit more technical, but, like, you can dive into it at 40 feet because of where, like, the porthole is. But
Okay.
I went and dove through it like 7 months after it was sank, donated from the US Navy to the Cayman Islands, and then
Right.
I went again several years later. So like the animal life and the sea life, like the coral that had grown on it and the animals that were now living, like the sea animals that were living there was totally different. It was amazing. Had a run in with a barracuda the second time. Like it's so cool. Some of my like favorite pictures that have ever been taken of me have been taken like while I've been diving this wreck. It's amazing.
Okay, what do you do when you run into a barracuda? Tell our audience, please, because just in case. Do you
Uh,
just stop or
I stopped and I made sure to signal the people behind me because like I do not want to fuck with a barracuda. Like I am more afraid of a barracuda running than a shark, honestly. So
yeah.
I just turned made sure my fins, like my feet were the first thing it would come towards because you come coming out face first and I turned and I was like, oh shit, hello. And so I turned and just kind of like started kick like not frantically, but like loosely kicking my feet to be like, hey buddy, like please move away. And so I think when he kind of felt like the current that my fins were making, he kind of, dove around the side. But the cool thing about that ship, that was a bit of a full circle moment for me, because growing up I went to a camp at a Challenger Learning Center, and then was a camp counselor there. The USS Kittiwake recovered pieces of the Challenger explosion back in the 80s off the coast of Texas. So it was like, yes, it was a recovery ship. And that's one of the things
Oh,
it was, yeah, it's incredible to have done that. So
that's amazing. Oh my god, that's
yeah,
amazing. So
yeah,
like it's I only say because that's the thing that ate Nemo's mom.
I know. Oh, I'm aware. That's why, like, I don't wanna run in with a barracuda. They really like,
Fuck no.
shiny jewelry and stuff too. So, like, I don't
Okay.
wear any jewelry. I don't do any of that when I dive.
Okay.
They like shiny things, and so they will be very
Okay,
attracted to that. Yeah, they got
just
sharp
do
eyes.
the
Just stay
I
calm,
get
like, stay calm and, like
you're telling me to stay calm? Actually, I'm like one of the people that like never panics at shit. Like I panic afterwards. So like I
Yeah,
tend to be very like calm. But yeah, I just
and I have no
yeah.
desire to go through the Titanic either, like, no,
Yeah,
no.
it's
It's
one of
so
those
deep.
things where it's so deep and also it's I think people and in this book they talk about the fascination with this specific wreck because we're
Yeah.
not the Titanic is one of the top like wreckages that people are obsessed with.
I don't know that there is one that people are more obsessed with.
Exactly, right? So the the concept isn't and the author goes through this and Daniel, I forget his last name, but basically he's like it's the stories that came afterwards and it
Yeah.
is one of the first like big wreckages that you actually had survivors from that kind of coordinate, like the stories were the same, and people like in other wreckages, like the USS Wager, like the stories were
Yeah.
kind of different. But this one, it was like all the same. You had all these kind of the lore that came out of it. You had rich people, some rich people, rich people survived more than steerage. So you had like rich people telling their stories,
And they were harrowing
and
stories. All of them.
harrowing. And you want to hear another nerd rage moment?
Hell
You
yeah.
know how
Oh,
in you know how in the movie at some point when the ship splits and the
yes.
lights go out, people didn't believe that because mostly a lot of women survived. Some men survived, but mostly women. And they did not believe the women to say that this
Shocking. Wait, people didn't believe women? What? You're kidding.
yeah,
Oh
that
my God.
it's split because they were like, no, the women were being hysterical. And that was not
They must have been on their
discounted.
period.
Must have been all on they're synced up their cycles during that one trip. And until they
Wait, no
found it
one
in
believed
85.
women? Can't believe it.
Yeah, isn't that such a
That's
shocker? So
amazing.
like literally between like until it was found, people thought it sunk in
As
one
like One
piece.
Piece? I don't think I knew that. That's crazy. But I vaguely remember some of that only because like James Cameron is a Titanic enthusiast. He's also like a deep sea enthusiast. I watched when he went to the Mariana Trench, which is the deepest point in the ocean that we know about. I I mean, like, I didn't breathe for, like, 35 minutes that they were headed down there. It's crazy. But, like, obviously, he's been to the Titanic.
Yep.
He did the research before they made this movie, which is why people are like, it's yes, it's an entertainment movie. It's a blockbuster, but in terms of what happened to the ship is very accurate. And that's
Yep,
why, because he
exactly.
was also an enthusiast.
And I think this is one of the things where he was very good at taking the story, and I think that's why people really like his storytelling, because it really is extremely accurate, right? Like we do have a concept of um that you have a good story that is also backed up by science, right?
Yeah,
And he
give me
really
Terminator 2, like the Terminator and Terminator 2 all day, every day.
yeah, right? And
Avatar,
I
I can
think
do it out. Like Avatar, get the fuck
I've
out.
never seen that. I've never seen
Yeah,
that. I have zero
I
zero need
no,
to
I
watch
hate
that.
it. I hate it. Don't come at
Um
me. That movie's overrated and it sucked and I hate it.
and I hate that there's what, a third coming out now?
3. Yeah, well, get the fuck out of
Or is
here.
it did it come out? Is it coming out? I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't
Uh
care. I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
I don't give a shit. I hated the
I
first one so
I could
much.
give I couldn't give two shits about it. Anyway, so all this to say is that there was such care in talking about that story for a long time that I feel a lot of this Ocean Gate crap was like commoditized it, because it was
Yes.
most fine. Titanic, the movie Titanic was like the biggest blockbuster for a long time. Is it still? And then Avatar surpassed it or something, whatever.
It held that record for a very long time.
Long
I
time.
don't yeah, and I think it took it away from Star Wars. Like, it
Yep.
was Jaws, then it was Star Wars, and then Star Wars had it until Titanic, and then just recently, something to I yeah, I can't remember, but
Yeah. And so you even though all these people like made movies and it was very scientifically accurate.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
it's kind of a sad thing that this thing happened where it like kind of crushes science in a way about this event, right? People always made sure the science was sound around it when they actually went down there, right?
I
And I
felt like
think
his interest to me was forced, like, it wasn't even like, he didn't to me, I don't read the same interest in the Titanic in Stockton Rush than even a James Cameron.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's
Like,
very true.
I don't to me, it was, like, not I don't know. It felt like an afterthought. Like his passion for the Titanic felt like an afterthought. And sorry, I interrupted your thought, but I do have like a tie to the Challenger when you're
Yes.
done with your comment.
And I was just like in my mind, it was all about purpose, right? Like
Yeah.
James Cameron, I think wanted to make the movie because he just genuinely appreciated the wreck and the story and what happened and wanted to bring that to life.
Yep.
And I think Stockton in a lot of ways, and you see his disregard for all the history despite having links to it, despite all of this, his utter disregard for human life, even though
Yep.
this was the Titanic is the reason why we have better like, better like ways to save people from wreckages, like
Yep.
have to make sure there's more, boats and all of that. By the way, another really fun fact is that the Titanic is the first time that people prioritized women and children when getting off a wreckage. Okay. Yep. That was also a
Wow.
that was also a misconception, and nobody knows why that decision was made. We're not sure, but one thinks it's either the first mate or the first mate as his first mate or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever,
First mate,
or the
yeah.
captain that made that decision split second during it because they didn't think it was that bad at first.
Yeah, right, right. Interesting.
Yeah. So, fun fact, everybody's like,
Yeah,
it's women and children. You're like, that wasn't the norm.
that's wild. Wow. Yeah, no, I also love I think one of the funnier SNL Weekend Update sketches in recent years was when Bowen Yang plays the iceberg and you get the iceberg perspective of when the Titanic hit him. Uh, Perfection. Check it out. Also, Bowen
Perf-
Yang, like chef's kiss every time he's on screen. I love him.
every time.
So I mentioned the Challenger before. I like the Challenger is your Titanic. Like the Challenger is to me as the Titanic is to you. Like I know everything about it. I literally went to space camp like because of it.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Like it's just fascinating to me. The lesson we clearly didn't learn from the Challenger when it comes to OceanGate, when that fucking thing is sitting outside covered by a tarp in Canadian winter, I'm like, did we learn nothing from the Challenger? And for the Challenger, it was in Florida, ready to take off. It happened to be an unseasonably cold morning that morning in January. Do you know? So they get a frost. Because of the frost, an O-ring expanded and contracted and it cracked a little bit and there was a tiny bit of ice in it when they took off, and that is what caused the Challenger explosion. Do you know how much an
Yep.
O-ring cost in 1986?
Tell
This
me.
was
I
one of my
don't know
favorite
that.
fun facts when I was a camp counselor. Do you know how much an O-ring costs to fix, like, in 1986?
$5.
13 cents. 13 cents
So,
blew up that, but they didn't know, like they did. I'm not saying that it was anyone to blame. They would not have known. There was no trigger that said like this tiny little O-ring is busted, like we gotta abort mission. But like, did we learn nothing from that like a frost will do some shit? So like you wanna leave this carbon fiber fucking thing that expands and contracts in the weather outside in a Canadian winter.
again,
My face is
faithful
red.
audience. Again, faithful audience. We talk for a living. We're like relationship manager people.
I'm a
Like
fucking scientist.
we're like, what's math? I pull out my calculator for like 80
Everything.
times 80 times 3,
What
right?
is a
Like I pull out
20%
my
tip? What is a 20% tip? Tell
what
me.
is it? What?
It's
Please
20%.
tell me, calculator. What is 20% of anything, really? Are we making this shit up? Because numbers to me feel made up sometimes, okay? So,
Math is a construct, just like time. It's
yes,
fine.
exactly. 100%. Even though, again, I don't understand what that means. Um, but if the two of us If the two of us understand the concept of this is not how
Not a good idea.
you should be, not a good idea. I think it's going to create some, trouble with all this crap. Then you have a fucking problem. But I think this gets back to rich people not talking truth to power because they're either fired, kicked out, and I think the right thing is always the right thing to do for the obvious reason that if you don't do the right thing, people can get hurt, people can get fired, people can get, upset,
You can
all this
die.
shit. They can die. I'm not even going to the worst thing, right? They can die. And I think we just, as a society, and this is millennia, I think we're always making these drastic, stupid mistakes where we don't want to speak up because we think the, the consequences are too great because of, XYZ. And you're like, yeah, I get that but some people can speak. His
Yeah.
wife could have said something. This,
She
there's
could
so
still say something. She could still
sh-
say something. The fact
yes,
that she has not been gone after for any of this, she ain't innocent. She's not innocent in any of this. The fact that there have been nothing paid, like it's not even about the money, but like there has not been an apology made. There's been nothing that has been offered to the families other than maybe like this guy was a dick and people should have listened to him. But like that's not the Navy JAGs, that's not their job to.
nope.
She could still say something like, girl, where are you at? Where are
Yeah.
you at? You're
Where
still alive.
Yep. And let's be honest, did she ever go down there?
You know what, I feel like they showed her on maybe one or two, but those were like
Okay.
the test dives. I don't think she was never on a Titanic, at least that I saw, but she
Yeah.
didn't
I
seem to
didn't
go often because she fucking knew.
she fucking knew. And I think that's where we have problems as a human race, right? We never want to either say we're wrong, make sure that people are safe, and we just go with the grain, try not to push, be, I guess push the boundaries, just say, hey, this is wrong because of a numerous amounts of reasons. And I think we pay the price for that, and some people pay the price for that. And I think this is always a lesson that I think history teaches us, and then we just never learn.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
We just, yeah. So yeah, so this is, as you guys have heard, we are extremely passionate about this one specifically.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I don't even need to ask, but like we need the what the fuck meter.
Oh, that's like the limit does not exist.
Yes. That's the official. I'm officially logging that.
Oh,
But
the limit does not exist. I mean, the fact that you had a what the fuck meter for this one and you were like, everybody, I have to go back, but we have to at least post at least one part of the text because we watched it separately. The
oh
Netflix one.
yes,
I kept like texting, going. It was like really. I mean, let's go find if anything is fit for other people's consumption.
yes, and I'll put it on the Instagram page.
Exactly. And it's really bad, everybody. We are irreverent. I think irreverent is a nice word to say on
Yes,
our text message. We're irreverent on our text message. So we'll try to find something that is appropriate. But all this to say is that the limit does not exist. This has got to be the one where I was like, so I tend to read things. I'm much more of a reader, and I don't watch. I watch things for like Doc is in and things like. I watched this documentary the day it came out.
we
Like
we both did. Like I
that's
part of me
how.
was waking up at midnight just to watch it when the second it was
Yeah, you're
released.
never gonna wake up at midnight. Come on now. I'd wake up at I'd be still awake at midnight and
I've already been
watching
asleep for 3 hours at midnight.
it. Exactly. And I'm just getting, just making sure my face is washed. And like,
Oh my god.
but yeah, this one was wild. I don't have we discussed I think you guys should watch this. Watch both of them. I think the
Yeah.
National Discovery one is on Disney Plus. Um And
Yeah, I
is
believe
it
that's
Disney
right.
Plus? Because National.
That or HBO, because I think
Oh, yeah, yeah.
owns Disney or Discovery, which is also HBO now.
Yep,
'Cause
that's right.
Discovery Plus is gonna take over HBO Max, and then HBO Max, and whatever identity crisis they're having. Any
Oh
which
my god.
way. So I believe it is on HBO Max,
Yeah.
but
All right. And I'll find the link and I'll put the second one as well. But all this to say is you guys should watch this because I think this will, if, especially also if you work in corporate environments, I think it will also kind of
absolutely.
validate. Because I think working in corporate environments, you're always like, am I the weird one? Like, am I like seeing something that is wrong? Like, and this is how you get like this kind of feels a lot like that. So I think that, that will get there. Um, but yeah, like I said, I think this holds a very weird place in our hearts because this is
It
how we
does.
really became friends. We
Yeah.
were memeing like nobody's business. It was very dark. Um, but I think collectively, I hope that society and humanity learn something again from something like this, where
Yes.
people are making big mistakes, and we need to be speaking truth to power. We need to
Amen.
make sure there are safeguards, and we need to make sure that people don't die or get hurt because of somebody's wild ambition around the stupidest shit. And
Amen.
that's my thing there. I think we haven't talked about what we're gonna talk about for next week. So we'll keep that as a surprise.
Yes.
Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger for the for the holidays that are coming up. But yeah, come back next week. But the limit does not exist in the what the fuck meter for this one.
Yeah.
And
And we don't have our
yeah,
next documentary picked out yet, but I have a dark one that I don't know is entirely Linda approved that is like kind of in the same vein as this.
all
It's a true
right.
crime
Let's
one. Maybe we'll discuss as our next watch.
let's
Or, maybe we do something a little bit lighter because I'm gonna dream about the fucking popping for the next week.
for, forever. Forever. The limit does not exist. It just truly does not exist.
Oy.
Well, again, thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to give us your, either Rex or what you want to hear or what you think of this documentary as well. And yeah, Elaine, take us out.
Stay interesting.